Welcome back to Coffee and Uche Okeke, the podcast where we explore the enduring impact of Uche Okeke and his contemporaries in the Nigerian art scene and how their influence extends globally. Join us as we explore the inspiring stories shared, illuminating insights into ourselves and the inspirations we carry forward. As always, I'm joined by Tamsin Lovell. Hello, Tamsin. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello, Selma. It's such a pleasure to be here again.
Our guest today is Selma Etareri, born in 1968 in Bad Hofgastein, is a ceramic and performance artist based in Graz, Austria, where she operates her gallery and studio, Daluam. She has also recently been featured in Panas Kunst magazine about modern ceramics. Growing up in the Gastein Valley, Selma developed her artistic passion under the influence of her sculptor father, Sepp Viehhauser. She honed her skills through formal education in ceramics and eventually established her first studio in 1996. In 2005, she broadened her artistic horizons by founding the Daluam Gallery and Studio in Graz. Selma's artistic endeavors extend beyond gallery exhibitions, encompassing public space projects and charitable initiatives. Diverse forms and intricate surface designs characterize her work, often incorporating clay from her surroundings and employing techniques like the naked clay method. Additionally, Selma is actively involved in cultural exchange initiatives, particularly between Austria and Nigeria, aiming to foster connections and support the ceramics scene in Nigeria. Today, she joins us all the way from Austria. Hello, Selma.
Hello, Selma. And hello, everybody.
Hello, Selma. I'm thrilled that you're with us today. From my side, I'm really interested in your perspectives. One of your quotes that I read, I've been a ceramist for a long time and still not everything I want to say is shaped. It is the unspeakable in me that I give such visibility. I'm fascinated by the formability of all ceramic masses as well as their fragility. I found that a really interesting quote because we all face some aspects of ourselves that we feel is precious or we should keep it hidden. And we've learned to do so out of struggles that we face to protect what we value, protect ourselves. So what notable struggles did you face to be the artist that you are today?
I think it was the way how I came up as an artist. First of all, I'm grown up in an artist family. It was not an easy life. My father was an artist in a village who is for tourists and for skiing and everybody who is not owning a hotel and is not going to be in a service modus was watched with another eye. Yeah? So we was the wild children from the artist. We really was wild. 5 children, and it was a fight to come up. With the age of 14, I left my home to go to school for ceramic. Till 19, I was in the ceramic school of Stob in Burgenland, a famous village for traditional Austrian ceramic. And when I was doing my exam, I was already pregnant. After the exam, I went to Graz and I started with the master class because nothing stopped me ever for doing what I want to do. So I went to the school with the baby on my back, looking somehow different again. But I was so common to be different that I didn't care about the eyes. I went with the baby to the school, and then after 1 year, I stopped. It was too much stress to care about the baby. I got pregnant again. Then the relationship was not too good, so I was going my way alone, and it was not easy, really not easy. Then I was always an artist, and like the mother of my boyfriend that time, she was not happy with the way how I do. So having children means to stay with the children, not to be an artist. And there was a cold wind. The whole life there was a cold wind around me, and I went through a lot of suffer. So all my artwork is also a kind of coming out of darkness and looking to the light. From deep inside, it brings always the message out. So I have a kind of special way to do my artwork. It's like a burst. It's from deep inside, I bring it to the top, and it is from the darkness to the light. And then when it is out, it gets a kind of abstract thing or a naturalistic thing. It is most of the time influenced by stories, by written books, by mythology. I have a way to do my artwork, and it is because of my life.
I like that. It's a layering. So there's the layer that is you, that is the authentic Selma, that does everything from that place of who you are, which was formed by your childhood, by your experiences. But then on top of that, you have inspirations that you talk about. Could you tell us a little bit more about those inspirations that also influence your work, that other layer?
Yes, I have a lot of inspiration. If I have met in my life fantastic artists. I'm a ceramicer, but my friends and my family and my artist family is full of painters and sculptures, and I'm more an artist than a potter. I have met people who are really great, like Klitschka is a very famous Austrian sculptor. I have done some time with Gerda Fassel, who was a professor of the university, and her assistant is Monika Verhoeven. They are fantastic sculptures, and they also have a kind of way to bring essence in their work. When I was a child, my father visited Henry Moore in London with my mom together. When they came home, then they printed out a lot of pictures they made in between these monumental works of this master of sculpture. My eyes couldn't walk away from these works.
Wow.
The meeting with artists was for me so normal, like taking a breakfast, because my father was with them all. And then my brother studied in Vienna, and my other brother is also an artist. All these people around, I have this kind of community is normal for me. If you are living like this, you have inspiration about the personality and the way how to go about the creation, the pictures you produce and the works you produce. They are your own identity, but the inspiration is to follow up, to say this strongness the people show me, this not giving up, this coming out again and again, no matter what's going on. You have to work, you have to be with your artwork together. This is something carried me my whole life till now.
Yeah, that's really interesting, Selma, because you have said that you feel in terms of your art. You have said how you feel from the inside, how you never make copies, and how you feel something that is growing inside of you and wants to be shaped. And it also makes you very happy that you have continued to discover analogies to how you feel in terms of the art that you create. But you have also said that you build large, thin-walled physical vessels and figures made of clay. And you create porcelain dishes with gold and platinum, and this also reflects a special delicacy. People have asked you why you make ceramics that is that thin and are not practical around the house. What are the common misconceptions about art you get from people who come across your art?
Oh, this is a good question, because the knowledge about ceramic is not so high. This is a technical misunderstanding, what the people are always asking me, and I'm already tired in rehearsing, but I have to, that it is just a question of how high it is fired and which kind of ceramic material you use, that you can work fragile. Yeah, if you are working with the clay who is for low firing, you have to work with a bigger wall. Is same fantastic, yeah. But I am myself like the fragility, so and I have the possibility to use a high firing clay and porcelain, so I can do what I want. This is a very high quality. Yeah, so this is the technical part. And then there is also misunderstanding in the way how people watch about ceramic. In the last years, ceramic was coming up in the art scene again. But for a long, long time, you're a ceramica. You're just making something like a hobby or something like, even the word handwork was used here in Europe, but a lower graduation. Yeah. So you're a handworker and you have studied was something different from the level where you are. What is also a misunderstanding, yeah, of the quality of the person and of the artwork. And me, I always deal with these misunderstandings. And right now, it is because of the internet, it is because of very great artists who use different materials and use clay and use porcelain for the artwork. You can't ignore anymore that ceramic is part of the art. It is not just a material anyhow. Textile and all the other things become part of the modern art, yeah? So you can't ignore it anymore. And this is very good, but sometimes I feel like a missionaire for ceramic.
Making them thin and delicate, is there any special thing to that? Apart from you saying it has to do with the kind of materials that you use, is there an advantage?
You have to fire it much higher to make it stable, first of all. And second is, for me, if I make a fragile wall, I can change directions much easier than if I have a big mass of material to change. Yeah, I can work free. I can work down and up anyhow. Yeah, I can a little bit. I can fly with my clay if I work fragile. I can just.
I've seen samples of your works and I find them really, really exquisite, to be frank. I see the detail you put into it, and the fragility to me is a sign of a mastery of technique, my own understanding.
Yes, it is. It is not easy to work fragile.
It must have been so frustrating for you and all other artists that are working in those mediums that the art world has not given the same consideration to as painting or traditional sculpture. And I'm so glad that it's changing because it really needs to.
Yes.
And of course, in Africa, a lot of those, there's a lot of work happening in many different mediums. And you came from Austria and traveled recently to the Harmattan Workshop, and it must have been quite a journey. Would you tell us a bit about your experience of getting to that workshop?
Yes, I can talk about my journey. First of all, I had to birth myself out of my life. It was after 30 years, the first time that I did a big journey out of my business, then falling ill and climbing again to the work. I was really, really needing from the beginning of December till end of January to get myself clear for a journey, to bring everything to the right order, children and work and the gallery, and everything had to be posted well and in good hands. I was doing my journey with a little mistake. I didn't control my visa. I got it from an agent, and then I had to do my journey twice because I couldn't enter Nigeria. I had to stay on the airport, and I got deported and had to come again. And I came again 2 days later. I was just making the visa finish. It was a little step who was missed, and I came again. I was so thankful for all the people who tried hours for hours, like Arthur Arinze, who was the person who invited me, a great ceramica. And then there was Olubumi, who gave me a lot of power. She called me and she talked with me over WhatsApp so that I didn't lose my nerves. Everybody just was beside me all the time, and they waited for me when I came out in the end of this airport. First step was the National Museum, and I was just impressed and felt so home to see all these sculptures there. Nobody can imagine how my heart started to work, and my soul was immediately landing. There, I felt my soul so deep. Yeah.
Wow.
Then some days later, we was also on the Biennale. I saw the big sculptures from Bruce Onobragbaya. I was so impressed again. And everybody was happy that I am so happy. Then we went by car to Delta States, to Akbara Otto. It was a very hard trip with a lot of holes in the road, but it's not easy. And then when I went out there, I was on one of the impressive places I ever have seen. Everything was with art. You enter, there are sculptures. The house is on the wall. Everywhere is the artwork of Bruce Onobrak Bayer. Inside these working rooms on 3 etages, you can see old things from Nigeria's artists and history. And you are walking in a kind of cloud for 1 or 2. There was 2 weeks in this cloud of artwork. Bruce Onobrak Bayer is, for me, one of the impressive person I ever have met in my life. And I'm grown up with artists and with workshops, but I never have seen a person like him. It's amazing. It was for me like coming home all the time, all the people. There was artists. It is like, it's a special feeling.
That's really interesting. And so right there, you created the sister to Baubos in Abarota, right?
Yes.
Because you already have one right there in Austria. What legacy would you say the Harmattan Workshop would have? What legacy ultimately from your experience?
My experience is a cultural place was supposed to be one of the world important cultural places. There is a reason to make it better. I think this Harmattan workshop, how it is planned and how it is getting forward, every year it gets better. I heard it's 26 years now and it got every year better. It is now twice a year and it's supposed to be over the whole year. It is it's a kind of cultural place who could be one of the UNESCO.
In terms of inspirations from other cultures and mythology, what would be the role of the Harmattan Workshop in that for you?
This is a special place for the soul. This is a very special place, a cultural place who is having old history. Everything there has its own magical meaning, the things there. I call it in German Magie, the concentration the artists have there. The talks in the evening I liked so much. This Mr. Oigamian was talking about Benin's kingdom, yeah? It was very interesting.
Yes, and I saw that you got interested in the Benin art afterwards. You went to the National Gallery of Art and you saw some of the works and you said you liked the density in their representation of the essence and the soul that you recognize from your insights.
Yes.
I would say, in summary, that for you, the Harmattan Workshop would represent a kind of fountain for artists. It was irrespective of what aspect of art you were involved in. You could try your hands at different things, even if you were an expert in a particular medium, for instance. That wouldn't stop you. And there was that general understanding and growth and sharing for all in that beautiful place with those old works and artifacts that one is surrounded by in the Harmattan. Even the village itself is a bit quaint, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Selma.
I have not seen the village well because they didn't let me out. I'm too white.
Yeah, that place is like the central thing in that location, the workshop.
I was once on the market. I got the feeling of people when I was on the market. I was there and I just left very seldom the area because all of them was always taking care about me because I was a white shiny dot.
But I saw you then. I saw how you let your hair down completely. You were even walking around on that beach sand without your shoes completely and just went straight into it. Every part of you got the essence of that place.
It was fantastic there. You enter and you're enjoying the people because if you enter the room right by the side, you have the printers. They are very, very concentrated by working and this printmaking even touched me. I tried it just for 2 days or 3 days and it touched me so much that I'm here now on search that I can do it forward. And I've made already some some tri-point prints now here too, but not so good like there. If you enter downstairs, you have the ceramics, and then you have a kind of studio where you can buy your materials. You go up, you have the painters, and then the gallery there, you can watch the things of Bruce Ono-Brackbeyer. You can work, artwork is around you. And if you go out, you meet with friends, you have a good food there. I enjoyed to eat this native food there. I didn't miss anything. When I was on the way home, I was even up to cry that I have to go away. It was not easy.
Quite a first trip after 30 years to do that, as opposed to just visiting a neighboring European country or something. That was an epic journey.
Yeah, it was. It was like I changed the world, and still I'm in contact with the people, and I'm in contact with a lot of the artists, and I make this cultural exchange program. I do it forward. I make an exhibition about my time there. I will tell the people my journey story. I will have for 3 weeks in my studio and in my gallery the exhibition of pictures I made. I've made a lot of photos. I make a video. I'm on doing it now, and I hope it gets ready. So, and then I make my invitation, and the first person I invited is Olubunmi Adere, a potter, a young potter and artist. She's really a special person for me because she was my translator. She was my mommy there. She was doing everything for me. Then I will invite, for sure, I will invite Imomo. I like his artwork a lot. So I have my program. I will invite every person step by step. And I hope the concept is growing, yeah, because it gives my gallery a new direction.
Oh, wonderful. You've experienced so much and you've taken so much away from that event or that workshop had this long-lasting impact. And we speak a lot on the show about legacy. And essentially that's what legacy is. It's something that has a long-lasting impact. So clearly the Harmattan Workshop and your trip and the people you met will have a long-lasting impact on you. So I want to ask what legacy, what long-lasting impact you want to leave behind.
I have to start somewhere, but because the contact to Nigeria is Ato Arinze. Yeah, we are friends on Facebook since 2009. And since some years, he has a kind of a group who is called Vision of Clay, who is growing and growing and growing bigger and getting more important. And a ceramic group. There will be 2 ways I include myself. It's first of all, I will try to work with this ceramic group together. And second, I want to involve myself to make the ceramic place to be a better place in the Harmattan Workshop, because Bruce Ono-Brackbeyer is thinking about building a house special for the ceramicers, and there is clay around there in the river who is very good. So it could be a good thing for the people to have a permanent working place there. Then there's something I think is how to give back to a continent where 80% of the material I use for painting, is coming from Congo or from any other African country, because we don't have cobalt here, we don't have copper here, we don't have all these materials, but we use it more than the people over there. So also the gold I use, I often think about before I even know that I go to Nigeria, is how can I give something back to the country where it comes from, and the people don't have it. They can't use it. They have no chance because the Europeans and the rich people carry these things away. We are using too much, and we are using it blind. We are happy to have it, and we are seldom thinking about where it comes from, and seldom thinking about how the people over there are living and what they are missing. We're just taking. So whatever I can do, I will give.
You did say that one of your biggest concerns is that there's so much waste of what comes over there in terms of the raw materials that have been taken out of Africa, gets over there, and at the end, a lot of it is wasted. And you think, at least, especially having come to see that there are communities of people, both modern and traditional, that have been involved in ceramics all this while and sculpture. some of these materials could be useful for them, because you found they don't really have the materials in the long run to do their work. And that is really, really very forward thinking of you.
I'm deeply impressed of the artwork I saw. This is amazing. But I also saw with how less possibilities they bring out these great things, yeah. And by especially what I know is by the ceramicas, there is material missing. I just saw that there is money missing to make a good glass or the colors. And yeah, you could do much more and they could fulfill their ideas much better with having a support. Let's say what I have in my brain is a depot where you can send the material from here. You have a depot where the ceramicas can buy it for a money who is possible to spend for it. Life got so expensive there, here too, but there's a big difference from suffering here and suffering there. We already suffer if we are not getting every day the same thing we need, and there the suffer is much, much different. Yeah. So it's still possible to bring material over there. We have enough.
So in terms of support, your support will be more to Africa than Austria? Or is there a way you can balance it so that both your communities in Austria and Africa benefit from your type of support?
I have to make a good concept for it. First of all, I have to get sponsorship for people to invite. Yeah, from the government, they have guest artists programs. I have to enter these guest artists programs. I have to make exhibitions and workshop, and I'm good in organizing this because I'm doing this since 20 years, but I never went for sponsorship. But if I'm inviting from so far away, I need a sponsorship for them to buy the ticket and for their residence here. Yeah, so this is the first step I do. The second step is, if they are here, they have to get such a good money that they have to come home, that they can come home and have a better life, or having brought some materials home. Then the second step is how to see if I could do a permanent shipping of material so that the people will buy if it is possible to get it. But the shipping is always the problem, and there is the need of somebody who is buying the materials over here. Yeah. I don't know how to do it, but I will try.
Yeah. From speaking with you the other time, I could imagine that your plans also included some kind of exchange programs so that both cultures sort of intermingle a bit and learn from each other. Some kind of cross-fertilization of ideas that would help, like techniques from your side, spiritual and mythology contributions from our side, and also how from Nigerian side we manage to do these things with less and still manage to bring out the kind of art that you were able to see.
It's something your father always did, wasn't it, Selma? That synthesis of traditional and current, of different cultures, and being such a well-traveled man as well. It was certainly a part of his legacy, right?
Yeah, and I see that's something that Selma is bringing forward, even if she hasn't thought it out fully.
I'm not the only one who is interested right now in African artwork. It's just to open the eyes and look around. In Vienna is a big exhibition right now. For music, there was always something here, yeah. But now the sculptures and the painters, the interest is big. Yeah, the interest is growing because the way how Nigerians and other Africans do the work is different. We are already on a kind of decadence. Yeah, I don't know. We are decadent. In our abstract works, we have lost the knowledge about how to really be concentrate on work. It is too much just to make fast money. And it came on the point where you are not knowing anymore how to make a face, and then you make just a dot and you sell the dot very expensive. It is not the artwork, it is decoration. And then when I watch the galleries there, each artist knows very well how a body looks outside and inside. And even if he does abstract work, he has a big, deep meaning in it. The character is coming out of the person. And there was some favorites I had. If I saw them, I said, I like this picture. And Olubumi said, always it's this and this person. It was always the same person. The personality is so coming through that it touches me. Now, if you watch exhibitions like this, it breaks a little bit with our decadence. So the people are very interested now. They need something real in their hand.
So people from outside Africa can draw inspiration from Africa, and Africa can pick new techniques from the advancement outside Africa. So that is what you're trying to foster. And that is what my father and the Zaria rebels, as they were named, they were all about the synthesis between traditional and new. That is why we have a living legacy, because even you didn't know about them, but it's still resonating with you exactly the same way. That it's a good combination to dig deeper into the past and as well combine it with new technology and new things that are happening around.
What I want to be is one of these bridges to another culture, to another art scene. I want to bring people there to join the Harmattan Workshop. Great people who are interested about and can enjoy this too. When Harmattan Workshop is showing me the great artists, why not inviting them in my gallery? 2 months or 3 months to work here, to do workshop, to influence people with their own power. Yeah, we need it. It's good for the people to know how much they can create if they have more possibilities. They are already great. They have not to learn much. They have just to use materials.
Whichever side one crosses over, from your own side to the other side for a while and back again, you don't go back the same person. What a beautiful thing to become, or to see yourself as becoming that bridge in some way. I would imagine that your own work, your own art projects of the future will be influenced by that. Having already walked across the bridge yourself to visit the Harmattan Workshop and now sort of embracing becoming that bridge, can you share, if you have yet, those ideas of future art projects that you might be thinking of for the audience listening to this podcast to look forward to from you as an artist?
I have learned a lot. I said, it's my holiday. I make just one sculpture. I'm not doing 100 pieces or something like this. I make one sculpture, and this one was taking the whole 2 weeks till the last day. And it was my highest concentrated work I ever made, because nothing was disturbing me. And I was so included in this liquid there of concentration. The one worked in the night, the others on the day. And I learned to present myself. I had to talk about my work. I had to tell them what I think through the process about what I am doing. I was always thinking, I'm already doing something. Why should I talk about? But then I come to Nigeria. I make interviews with artists. I have them on as a movie. Yeah? Each artist, young and old, can immediately give you an interview and present his personality as a great person. Here I would have been ashamed to do this. But there I learned to talk about myself, to talk about my work. It's needful to present the people, to make them understand your artwork. I learned it there. I learned tri-point print. I was doing batik work. It was fantastic. It is an experience who gives me as an artist a kind of power I never had before. Never, ever. I swear I never had this power I have now.
That's amazing.
So how are you carrying this into your future projects?
I come in January back to Nigeria. I will work on a project and make an exhibition after. I will be by the Harmattan Workshop again. And during I'm going there, I will have invited my first guest artist. We will work out the concept together so that we are bringing already materials we need, especially for the ceramic class there. This is the first thing. And then let's see what's coming out next year, because the second visit will be very different. Anything I touch now, I think, do I really need to make that? Or does I have something more important in my soul to bring out? Do I really have to do this? Can I leave this beside? I'm in a special moment at all. And how I do with my time to talk about and to write about, is the same important than to work nonstop. I had a kind of reset. And from this, the things will be more concentrated. I'm sure I start a new way of my artwork.
Amazing. It's really, really interesting what an encounter in this kind of way affects the direction in which we go. Keep having this visual image of you as a bridge. I saw that in you when you came for the Harmattan Workshop. In terms of your future projects, what kind of collaboration are you likely to go into?
I want to give my gallery is inside the center of Graz. And what is very important is to create a respect for African art here. We are not knowing much about African art. And we have some places where it is already growing, And for me, it's also to open the eyes and connect with the other people and get into a kind of cooperation in this way.
And that will be really interesting because Germany, that is right next to you, has been involved in African art for as long as anyone can remember. All that went to Germany because they have been very much involved in African art.
Yeah. Austria too has some places, and I have to find out where they are, and I have to connect with them. This is something with, like, also me, I brought up 4 children alone, and I did my artwork for to survive. And it's like a great thing. I'm coming out first time to do a big journey. I'm landing an Akbara author where I have not known that my name Etareri comes from there. And I'm sitting there and they call me, you are our wife. And I'm surprised what's going on. So much things opened my heart. So much magical stuff was there. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's like, yes, it's not for nothing that I'm there.
I love the circularity of that. You speaking about the profound effect that it's had on you. And I'm thinking back to the beginning of the interview. The first question I asked was about your struggles. It was such an evocative sentence you used. You said you felt like you had a cold wind around you your whole life. From what you've described, it sounds like you might have a different descriptor of that going forward for the rest of your life.
Yes. If there's a cold wind around me now, I will dress well. And I got a very nice dress. It's a nice picture because I went home with a traditional Yoruba dress. I got it from Mudiare. It gave me a wonderful dress. I had to wear it because it has about 4 kilo, I think, or more. And it was not possible to do it to my bag again. I sent a picture to Selma. And I have now something to dress myself or to care about myself. I got so much love from every direction. The wind is now not cold anymore. And I got a kind of self-understanding. I was standing in front of these figures and I was at home. The man I have the name from, I called him after so many years and told him, do you know that I'm an Akbara author? And he said, how do you come there? My mom is from there. I said, I know now that the name is from here. And we are not having any poison contact anymore. It was very friendly and something like an old story got cleaned up there. I was so welcomed from the persons there. Like I was still married, but I'm divorced. I went my life and it is 25 years ago, but I felt welcome. I'm one of them because of I had contact like this. So they are having some kind of feeling for families, caring about each other. And this friendliness, I really miss it here. I got so much and I give back. I'm sure I can do something. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful.
We're very sure that you can. Thank you, Selma, for being such a captivating storyteller. I'm sure our listeners and aspiring artists appreciated and learned from your inspiring journey. Thank you too, Samson, for your captivating presence as always. Dear listeners, as we reflect on our discussion, it's evident that Selma's passion for fine art transcends geographical boundaries, inspiring us to embrace creativity and collaboration in our own lives. We hope you found today's episode both enlightening and inspiring. Support this podcast by sharing with your community, and remember to find more resources on uchekekelegacy.com. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, keep creating and connecting.